basketball today. Another familiar face on the show. Kylan Watson been on a few times to talk basketball. Getting into the NBA season now, so bringing back Kylan Watson from NBC Sports. Kylan, tell the people about yourself.
What's up, y'all? I'm Kylan. I am a video PA at NBC Sports Maine. I mainly work for the Edge channel, so a lot of sports betting and fantasy on my end. Also, on the side, I cover Eagles, Sixers, most Philly sports on my blog, watsonsports6.com. That's how I met Matt via Twitter, and this has started a beautiful thing, man. And
Absolutely.
I'm happy to be back talking about our beloved Sixers and maybe get some Eagles talk in there too.
That's where I was going. I mean, you brought up the Birds. 8-0, no more, undefeated, no more. Do you think it's a good thing, or was the dream of 17-0 something that made the team better?
You know, I'm not a believer in like losing being a good thing, but I am gonna just invalidate what I just said by saying I'm glad they got it out the way to Washington. I kept telling people, because I was on a retreat last weekend before the game, went to your beloved Maryland. I was in Prince George County last weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we were talking about that game, and I was just like, man, the Eagles just give up too much rushing for my liking. And I was telling anybody that would listen that the best way to beat them is if you find a team who can run on them and can keep Jalen Hurts and them off the field. That's exactly what happened. And I was like, well, you know, people are like, nah, it's just the Commanders. I'm all like, them NFC East games, man, they always get us somehow. So, like, I didn't expect them to, I expected them to beat them.
Yep.
You know, in my estimation, it would have probably been against the Cowboys, because they're always due for a letdown against the Cowboys. And maybe now that they've gotten out of the way, there won't be a letdown on Christmas Eve. Yeah.
Oh my God! Could you imagine if the Eagles had made it to the Cowboys game undefeated, all that pressure, then on Christmas Eve, you'd have people, on the Ben Franklin Bridge ready to
right. But now we don't have to worry about that, right? Now, like, it's about the Colts and beating the Fighting Jeff Saturdays tomorrow, and we'll see how that goes. I mean, I think they'll beat them, but I'm kind of worried because of Jonathan Taylor, and I know that they brought in Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph, so hopefully that'll pay some dividends. But I'm just, I believe that they'll beat the Colts too, but I think it'll be a lot closer than most people will be comfortable with. And I know that as Philadelphia sports fans, man, we've gone from the highest of highs with the Phillies and Unions to the lowest of lows right now between the Sixers and the Eagles. But we have to remember that as long as they don't lose another game and they keep staying up, they'll be all right and get that number one seed, get the all-important bye, and we can all relax, hopefully.
I think you all should listen to the last episode I did with our friend Alexa Ross, where we go into, some of the picks of the games. But I actually, and I hate saying this, but I actually think the Cowboys are going to beat the Vikings tomorrow night. And so that's going to put a little bit of distance if the Eagles can continue to get their W's. But now they're in a street fight. If the Vikings keep winning, they'll be right there. We only have the number one seed right now by virtue of having defeated them this year now. So.
I mean, I think the Vikings clearly, after last week, I thought they were dead in the water, but I don't know what was going on with Buffalo last week, because I literally saw some things I've never seen in a football game outside of college, like fumbling on a clear, like quarterback sneak. I don't know what's going on with Josh Allen, but the Vikings definitely are a scary team. Obviously, worst case scenario, the Eagles wouldn't have to worry about seeing them again until the playoffs. Hopefully that'll be in Philly and not in Minnesota, but I'm not worried about them either way. They are a scary team. Justin Jefferson, I mean, it just makes what Darius Slay did to Justin Jefferson even more of a case, because he shut him down, and ever since then he's just been back to his normal. So I just think that the Eagles have the blueprint there. But again, like we just said, they don't have to worry about that as long as they keep winning, and even if they can't lose more than 2 games. Like
That's
they
right.
can't lose more than 2 games. So I mean, you and Alexa probably talked about where you think the next L might come. The only game I would say not to overlook is this game next Sunday night because it's set up as a trap game with the Packers.
Yep.
so I would say that's probably the second loss right there.
I don't like the Titans game. The way that now pick it up in Ndamukong Suh, I think, and Linval Joseph, it'll eat up some space up in the middle. I need to see it because the way that the run defense is playing right now, and you play with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is a 200-yard rushing game waiting to happen.
Right. Well, I think that with the Eagles, right, they just can't turn out. Granted, like obviously last week it got away from them. Only 2 of those turnovers were legitimate. We could talk about. I'm sure y'all talked at nauseum about the Dallas Goedert non-fumble that shouldn't have been. And your face. And like the Quez, I love Quez, but I just wanted him to stay down. I literally said as he was getting up, I was like, just stay down, man. Just stay down.
He should have never went to the ground in the first place. But if you go to the ground, stay down.
Yeah, like because when you try to make a play, as we've seen with other teams, you wind up fumbling. And I just was like, but I'll say this: like Jalen has made some strides. I'm so loving this. I said this in my Eagles article before in the last game before the Commanders game that if he continues to make these strides, then I'm not worried about the Eagles. They literally have the best offense in the league.
Yep.
Debate your moms about that one if you think I'm lying. But they literally have the best offense in the league. And last week was just real fluky, obviously. AJ Brown went down with a bad ankle. Hopefully that's not anything big. I know y'all probably discussed that yesterday, but hopefully that's nothing too big. He said it's not, but football players. I don't want to say he lied. Football players fake it till they make it a lot of times. So hopefully that's nothing minor. Obviously, replacing Dallas will be a big issue. But I mean, I do love Stoll, so maybe he'll make some plays. He's good for like 1 or 2 a game. So, but at worst come to worst, Miles Sanders is right there running.
That's right. So Joel Embiid that last week came up with a historic performance, 59 points. Just a ridiculous stat line that included 7 blocks as well. Is he back in the groove after being injured and coming off a little bit out of shape? Or is that just, Joel Embiid splashing off the screen again, his kind of the flow of his career?
Well, I think he's back. I definitely think he's back. I just think that obviously we've seen this with Joel the last 2 years. Specifically, he's always a notoriously slow starter to the season. Now, honestly, I'd rather he start slow than start fast because I feel like he starts up here, then it'll go down. So I'd rather
James Harden.
Yeah. I'd rather it be here, start here and then get up there. But I love the fact that he's gotten better. I think he had a plantar fasciitis, which I think he's still dealing with, which kind of prevented him from being as in shape as he should have been. And I kind of hate saying a 25-year-old dude or whatever he is. What is he? 27, 26, 27-year-old that's 7'2" taller than I'll ever be in my life is out of shape. But I just hate saying that. But
it's the truth though.
It is, but I just hate
neither one of us are paid to be professional athletes too.
Right.
We get paid to do other stuff. We have expectations.
Right.
And we deliver on those expectations.
True. And I think that he's back in his groove. I'm glad that he's in shape. I mean, right now I believe that they're they're slowly making a comeback. So they're down 13, so that's a comeback. but like I like right now they're losing, but I totally expected that because obviously they lost Tyrese Maxey last night, which is a big loss. I'm sure we'll get into that during the show too. But I think he's back. Like I said, he's up to 32 points now. I sent the article yesterday about the game, which again, check out watsonsports6.com if you want more about what I said about last night's game. And Giannis Gate. Did you hear about Giannis Gate?
Yeah, when Trez took the ball from him before the game.
Yeah, with the did you see the video with the ladder?
The video with what?
The ladder, like.
Oh no, I heard about the video with the ladder, but what happened for the people?
So like he was shooting the free throw on the dude. Everybody thought he was a worker in the center, but he was a guy, I guess, with ESPN trying to get the camera down on that side. And Giannis was not having it at all. Like he wanted to shoot his free throws. And so he knocked the ladder down, and it was like it's still a whole thing. But I digress. But Joel, I think, is back. I would like him to like up his assist numbers. He's right now at 4.5 assists according to ESPN currently. Obviously, with a game still to be played currently. But I mean, he's at 133 points in 3 games. I mean, that puts him up there with Iverson and Wilt Chamberlain. So like, I can't be mad when you're with them right now. So, but I just think that what I would want him to do, especially without Tyrese and James, is that he needs to up that assist game. And I know that there's no ball handling. So I'm like, dog, you got to do it, man. Kevin Durant is doing it in Brooklyn. You got to do it, man.
Point center,
man. Create them assists. Because DeAnthony Melton and them ain't doing it right now. You got to do it, bro. Point center. Kevin Durant's a point forward, and you're seeing him on Tuesday. So point center, dog. Point center.
Wow. So
point center. Point center.
To that point, I mean, I think it's fair. Some people would say that this discussion is premature. Obviously, I'm asking this question because I don't rank your 1, 2, 3. I would say Iverson. In the group, the Iverson. You got the non-Wilt Sixers, Iverson, Doc, and then Joel Embiid. What's the 1, 2, 3 there?
All right, for me, it's Doc. Obviously, he brought a championship here. I mean, that's disrespect. Like, you and I weren't born when he was running around here, but like, it's Doc, bro. Like, you can't disrespect Dr. J, man. He's great. He was a great player for us, even though I wasn't alive. None of you or I weren't alive to see him, but I think he was great. I might get some heat for this, but I gotta say Iverson just because I mean that's what you and I grew up on. I love AI. I wish he had done more. Obviously, I mean we'll always remember 2001 and the step over, which we wish he would have won 3 more games. Obviously, but like
he was overmatched. There was no way they were going to win.
Yeah.
It was a miracle that he got one, kind of like the Phillies this year.
It was a miracle he got one. So like his talent gave them one, and then I have Joel Embiid with a caveat here that he can totally at least get the second place over Iverson if he delivers them. If he gets the ring, he'll definitely.
If he gets a ring, he's better than Doc.
Oh man, hot take. At him, at that. But he's up there. I'll give you that. He's up there. And I think that if he wins a ring, obviously he's got the numbers right now. His career is not over by any stretch of the imagination, we hope. And like he continues to get better, man. I mean, every time I think like at least reached his ceiling, he's out here getting like 8, doing what you just said, 59, 11, 8, and 7. And I'm just like, bro, this man almost had a quadruple-double like that.
And 60. A 60 with the quadruple-double?
Like, I'm like, this man playing 2K out here, bro. I'm like, bro, like, he's got 133 points. And like I said, as you can see behind me, the game is still going on. So you can add to that total. Like, I'm just like, he's going to have to do more. Point center, I mean, like, I don't know if it's point center, but you got to do something, man, because right now he's like the only important thing going on with the Sixers. until James
His
Harden.
buckets are so difficult, though.
Yeah.
That's the what makes his 59 even more astonishing is
Right.
because he's not getting easily created buckets. It's not a lot of give and go, pick and roll, easy buckets. He's squaring guys up, shoulder fake, turn, pivot, hit the mid range right in the guy's face. The guy has the hand right over his face, his hands when he's shooting. I mean, it's crazy. All of those buckets are tough buckets.
Right. And he's just got to do it, man. I mean, they're down 15, so they're probably not going to win this game. But he's just got to do it, man. And I mean, like, it's probably a miracle that last week they got out with just being 3-1. This week it'll probably, hopefully, just be. Well, right now they're 1-1, so it'll probably, hopefully, be like a 2-1 with the Nets coming up, and we'll get into that one later too. But like, I just need Embiid to up them assist numbers. And obviously, like, Shake's in the lineup now, so maybe we'll get Super Shake again. I miss Super Shake. I would love Super Shake again. You're shaking your head though, but he's in the lineup now, so maybe we'll get Super Shake. I haven't seen Super Shake since 2 years ago, bro. Like, you remember when he was dropping like 40 on the Clippers?
I do remember that. It was awesome. It was a beautiful time. But then we realized, like, okay, this is this guy just who can every once in a while play out of his mind. But don't create expectations around Shake. Just let Shake be great when he's ready.
I'm not saying I want 40-point Clippers Shake, but 15 Shake, 15 points. That's all I'm asking for. 15. He can
give you 12. He can give you 12 on a night. All right. I don't know about 15.
12 to 15 a night, at least for the next 2 to 3 weeks, until hopefully Tobias will play on Tuesday. That should be enough time for whatever is going on with his hip to heal. Hopefully. If not, it's a big ass to ask Joel Embiid to go up against the returning Kyrie and KD and the Nets on Tuesday by him. With all due respect to our current starting five, by himself.
Right. Right.
Or with all due disrespect to our starting five. Like, it's too much. It's too much to ask him to go up against it. And I'm already dreading the dialogue that I know. I am hoping, we didn't talk about this off air, but I am hoping that this game is on NBC Sports Philly so I can avoid watching Charles Barkley and Shaq go ham on Joel Embiid like they always do every time it's a TNT game and he's not scoring 50 by the time they get to halftime. I'm all like, dog, like, I would love that, but that's not gonna happen, bro. Like, obviously he starts slow, which obviously he's a center. I mean, we've seen him bring the ball up. Maybe we'll see point center Embiid. I'm not calling for that, but I would love to see it. Like, you know, he might as well. He does everything. You're shaking your head.
That man is gonna be. We're gonna run him into the ground. He gotta play center, shooting guard, point guard. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I mean, it is, but like, what do you want? Like, I love DeAnthony Melton. He's clearly a defensive specialist, a big upgrade over what we had last year. He actually can create a shot. But like, you know, I love him, but like, the playmaking is not his. This is the problem. This has been the problem with the Sixers for a while.
Need to bring TJ McConnell back. Just get him to run the offense.
Hey, look, man, I'll take Pat Beverly, bro. Like, anything to give some semblance. I mean, it's better than what we got going right now. Can you honestly say that, like, you wouldn't take Pat Beverly right now over shaking DeAnthony? And again, no disrespect to either one of those, but they're often like DeAnthony is a defensive specialist who can occasionally score, and then you have Milton, who is like great, but like none of them are like, yo, get over here. Here's an assist. Like, it ain't like we got Jason Kidd on the bench.
Pat Bev by like a little bit over like a little bit. Like,
this is more like, I get it, but like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they don't have. It's very clear that they don't have the playmaking. But to get you your question, like, Embiid can rock it right up to Doc's level if he gets them. Matter of fact, even if he gets them to the Eastern Conference Finals, like, yes. I would love a Finals, but an Eastern Conference one, I would love that too. And I honestly would love James Harden and Tyrese Maxey to get back expeditiously. So, like, like you just said, we don't run Joel Embiid into the ground.
So when do you think Harden gets back?
Hopefully in December. I'm hoping Thanksgiving because, like, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the video from the practices lately, but he's been shooting, which I think is a great sign. I mean, obviously, like, when you have a bad foot, obviously it's up and down, but like I'm hoping that early December, not late. He's obviously not gonna make this Nets game unless the miracle happens, but he's not gonna make this Nets game. So
Yeah.
so I'm just hoping that they can stay afloat. I mean, I can't remember the Sixers schedule after this Nets game, but I'm hoping it gets semi easier after this Nets game because the Nets get up and I think they're going to Brooklyn, or is Brooklyn coming here? The Nets get up.
The Nets come to Philly
Yeah,
on
okay.
Tuesday.
Well, so hopefully revenge revenge can propel them to a victory. You're shaking your head no, but like I'm hoping for revenge because like Kyrie is just getting back. So I feel like this is the perfect time to take advantage of the Nets. Because it's not like they play defense anyway. So it'll be two teams that ain't
Yeah,
playing
that's
defense.
true. That's true. That
Right.
is true. I gotta say.
So like it'll be two teams that don't play defense going up against each other. So like with all due respect to the Sixers, they do play defense, but obviously the transition leaves a lot to be desired. So which you and I have talked about since last year, and Alexa has as well, that like we hate the fact that they don't play transition defense.
No.
But
And that's part of Joel. It's a part of Joel not being in great shape. They all go as he goes.
yeah. So
So
yeah, hopefully adrenaline will pump them up because it seems like, at least when I'm watching, they clearly overlooked the Timberwolves and got up for that Bucks game, which is understandable, right? You want to get up for Giannis, but like hopefully Pride will get them a win on Tuesday. If you can see where I'm going for later when you listen to this, either today or tomorrow. Like I'm going. I gotta stay loyal. But I think that Embiid is right there in third place, but he can totally rocket past Iverson if he continues doing what he's doing.
So we're talking about the trade. Talk about potential pickups. I thought T.J. McConnell just threw that out there. But who are some of those people that you think could potentially be available that the Sixers should be taking a look at if they can?
I think Eric Gordon. That's a name
that was supposed to happen last year.
Yeah. Yeah, if it wasn't for Tillman Fertitta and his bitterness, that would have happened last year. And I think that would have helped the Sixers with a lot of their problems last year. I mean, last year, it's the opposite problem this year, where now they have a bunch of people who are taking threes, whether advised or not.
Right.
And they obviously have gotten a lot tougher. I mean, I can't say that they're soft because we got PJ Tucker in here.
That's right.
And again, when they really got PJ Tucker, what I would caution Sixers fans, this is an aside, but a Tucker thing, because I'm sure you've seen it, I've seen it, that like people are like, why are they wasting money on Tucker? Clearly, that was a playoff move and not a regular season move.
Yes.
That's not a. People weren't expecting PJ to come up in here.
So don't put any of those minutes on his body yet. Yeah. Don't even keep him in bubble wrap till March.
Yeah, so like that's clearly a March move and not a now move.
Right.
But people have said that. So like I would want them to go see about Eric Gordon. Pat Beverly was basically, if you remember, all summer basically saying, "Hey, make me a Sixer." Yeah, it never happened. So I would love that because, like, again, as we just talked about, they don't have any playmaking behind Harden, like without Tyrese Maxey, and I love Tyrese, but assisting is not his game. He's a scorer, and he's getting better on defense.
Yep.
But like he's not a playmaker is not him yet. I'm not saying he can't be. The playmaker is not him yet. Yet being the emphasis when y'all flame me later when you listen to this. Yet. I would love Pat Beverly, Eric Gordon. I mean, the dream would be Buddy Hield, but it seems like that will never happen. So like I would love for Buddy Hield to be here. I mean, It's the essential. It's the equivalent of having a more consistent JJ Redick. But like,
Yes.
I would love to have Buddy Hield because I mean, he's big enough. He's not
He's
as
like
short.
Joe Johnson. He's like
Yeah.
late. He's like Nets Joe Johnson.
Yeah, like he's not as short as JJ Redick, so like people can't post him up. So I'll take that. Or Harrison Barnes. Freaking, I'll take anybody who can shoot a three consistently like, and can play some defense, like, and has some ball handling. I'll take it. Like, I'll take it. So Pat Beverly, for the toughness aspect. Eric Gordon, because like it seems like if you're a former Rocket, Daryl Morey has you on speed dial. And
Trez, all of them.
right. And Buddy, just because like I feel like every podcast, not this podcast, but everybody wants Buddy Hield in a Sixers uniform. So like I just want that to happen. But like the more realistic thing is probably Eric Gordon. What do you think?
Yeah, I was actually trying to pick your brain on that. I mean, I love the Buddy Hield idea. I would love to have a Buddy Hield. Pat Bev, I know it sounds like you want Pat Bev. I'm not a big Pat Bev person now. If we didn't do the pickups that we had done, like with Melton and PJ Tucker, from that toughness aspect of like the grit and grind, I like having PJ Tucker, but you only need so many of those kind of guys on your team. You need some guys who actually can get buckets, and I'm gonna leave it there.
I mean, I will say that like I'm only saying Pat Beverly right now because obviously we clearly need playmaking. So like that's the only reason why I'm saying Pat Beverly, because obviously defensively he would help in the transition defense. But I mean, I'm sure they could find another pit bull. I mean, Jaden Springer is right there on the bench and they don't play him. So like, I mean, I'm sure I'm not saying that he would solve the playmaking, but he would definitely solve the transition defense.
Yeah, he would.
Because if nothing else, he can run. So like, he can run those 19-year-old legs. So like, I'm just at this point, I'm like Eric Gordon, Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes. Give me somebody who can shoot and play some defense. Like somebody who can shoot and play some D. Like, that's what I want them to do. Now, maybe Daryl Morey is listening to this podcast right now and is saying that man has a great idea and we'll do either one of those. But like most.
What do you think about try to get Aaron Gordon?
Ooh, bro. That might be too much sauce for Philadelphia. Aaron Gordon. You have a lineup of Eric Gordon and Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris. What is PJ? Is PJ going to be on the bench until the playoffs then?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where he needs to be, regardless. I mean, with all due respect to PJ. PJ don't need to be starting for anybody. Come on now.
Okay. All right. That would be great, man. I feel like that definitely solves the defensive and the younger thing. He could definitely play some five. I mean, since we're out here dreaming, what about Miles Turner? You think they could do what Minnesota is currently doing? Just have a all big lineup and just have.
It might be good. It might work for Joel, because then Joel would never have to go post up. But
right.
It gets real ugly sometimes when that kind of ball. When that's not working, it's some of the ugliest basketball in the world.
It is. But like, I'm like, since we're throwing out realistic and unrealistic scenarios, I mean, Miles Turner is just as unhappy in Indiana as we don't know about Buddy Hield. He just loves the fact that he can shoot. So anywhere where he can shoot, he's fine. But Miles Turner is just as unhappy as Russell Westbrook, I feel like
That's right.
in Indiana. So like I just feel like you can do that. I mean, like I said, Harrison Barnes, like anybody who can shoot. So I mean, the two most realistic of the people I brought are probably Eric Gordon and
Pat Bev,
and maybe Harrison Barnes. But the Kings are currently doing so well, I definitely don't think that they'll be sellers. But I could totally be wrong, and it could just implode on the Kings anytime. They are the Sacramento Kings, so
they are.
It could implode anytime. Not that I'm rooting for that, because like the Sacramento Kings being good. They haven't been good since we were kids, and they had
That's
they
right.
had white Jason Williams running around here. Those of you that
And
don't know
Asia.
who we're talking about, look up white chocolate, dog.
That's right. And then try to get off of YouTube because you won't. Some of it is just is like captivating, spellbounding. So
Yeah.
some of the stuff he was doing was just too nasty.
Yeah, man. Some of that stuff. You have never seen like a player that good ever in your life that will play in the Sacramento Kings uniform. And that's no disrespect to Harrison Barnes, to De'Aaron Fox and
De'Aaron Fox, yeah.
Keegan Murray, who are great players. But like you'll look at Jason Williams' thing and be like, you will never see a player that good ever in a Kings uniform ever again.
It was crazy.
Like him and Chris Webber together, that was too good. That was, like I just said, too much sauce for Philadelphia. That was too much sauce for California with the football.
It was. So what's going to happen in Brooklyn with the Nets? Once again, it's a mess up there.
Oh man, when is it not a mess? Don't we love that the mess is up I-95 and not in Philadelphia for once? I mean, like, don't you love the peace?
If they were Philly, if the Sixers were a mess like this, I'd be like a blow it up. I would be like, yo, like let's let it go. This is crazy.
I'm right there with you, bro. It's time to blow it up. I am not a Nets insider or reporter, but I mean, like, I don't think you have to be to see that it ain't working right now. Like Kyrie is coming back, so maybe it'll look a little bit more respectful. And I think that's today, right? Kyrie comes back.
It's like being in a bad relationship. It was like it started off well, and like y'all both started off with like good intentions. Somewhere along the way, like you just both realize like this ain't like we're not getting married here. Like I don't even know all the time whether I like you, and then you just stay together because it's convenient. You don't really want to be the one. You don't want to be the one to go first and let it go. But you both know you got to let it go. That's where they are. That's where they are. Y'all aren't getting married. Y'all aren't even a good couple, but y'all both staying together and making you're both looking like fools.
Right, and I agree completely. So, like, to me, I'm right there with you. Like, blow it up. But like, let me just say, like, what they can do in the meantime, because that's your question. Is you got to trade one. You got to trade one of the three. I have in my notes here that like Kevin Durant is basically asking to be traded. I mean, he basically said what we just said, that like just in a nicer way. I mean, you're from the DMV, but like the way he worded it basically in Philadelphia was, "I'm playing with a bunch of bums." Like,
that was crazy.
Like in Philadelphia, that's what he said. I've got a bunch of bums on the floor, and then I'm the one diamond in the rough. Like, what do you want me to do? Like he
that was disrespectful.
That's basically what he said. Like, he cleaned it up a little bit, went all DC political, and was like, it's look at our starting lineups, and y'all expect us to win just because I'm on the floor. Was I think the gist of the quote. Like, essentially what he said was, I'm playing with a bunch of bums. I mean, like Jacques Vaughn, God bless his heart, he's trying his best. He's got Ben Simmons on the bench, which is, he has way more balls than any player, any coach or past coach and current coach of the Sixers who refuse to do that.
Right.
So I'll give him that. He's got way more balls than the Sixers coaches who refuse to put Ben Simmons on the bench when it was clear he should have been on the bench. So I'll give him that. But it really hasn't helped, bro. Like, when Nick Claxton is your second best player, you have a problem. And this is no disrespect to Nick Claxton. He's doing his best. But, like, I mean, Kevin Durant basically said it. There's a bunch of bums, and that's starting lineup at him. So, I mean, the best thing to do is probably trade one of the three. I mean, the Nets will not trade Kevin Durant. They have made that clear. So, I mean, that leaves you with either Kyrie or Ben. So, I guess you have to trade Ben because Kyrie is basically liquid poison. I know a lot of people are like, Kyrie is great. I'm not watching the NBA. Not me, but I'm just, mocking.
Yep.
I'm not watching the NBA because of what they're doing to Kyrie and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, calm down. But like, they can't trade Kyrie. It's a little bit too toxic for him to get traded right now, unless somebody is really desperate. So like Ben seems like the most tradable right now. And I hate saying that because I know just saying Ben Simmons is going to get me flamed on Philly Twitter. But like, like he like of the three, he's like the most realistic trade partner. And I don't know, man. I don't know maybe they can see if Atlanta wants to trade and have a 3-guard lineup going with DeJounte, Trey, and Ben, and like trade and see if John Collins could get in there. But I mean, I think that will make the Nets even more insane.
That would.
You just take out Ben and add John Collins and see how that goes. Like
that would be more dangerous, honestly.
Right. That definitely would be more dangerous. But like at this point, I just think you trade Ben, get the best trade you can, get some assets there. I mean, obviously, they can continue to switch picks with the Sixers for the next couple of years. So I mean, there's always that. So like just adding more capital, because like if you're a Nets fan and you're listening to this podcast and you're thinking, Kylan, give me some hope, I can't give you any hope, man. I just would say, like, enjoy Kevin Durant while you still have him for the next 6 or 7 months. And, like, after that, like, just kiss him goodbye.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
And just like get ready for what the Nets will look like when Seth Curry is your best player. I mean, like, I don't know what to tell you, Brooklyn Nets fans. Like, I can't give you much hope, but say, like, maybe you'll get the number 1 pick. I mean, like,
and unfortunately, it's not even their team. It's not even their team ownership's fault. The team ownership, their major fault was putting Kyrie and Kevin Durant, basically giving them the idea that they were in charge of the franchise, and then not hiring a real coach on the front end over their objections. That was really all they did wrong, and all these people are going to be pretty heartbroken that they're not going to get anything. It doesn't even look like they're going to get a playoff series win.
Right. And that's crazy to think that with those two together that, like, they can't get a win. Honestly, I think
James.
Honestly, I think they made 2 mistakes, right? Like, I think the main mistake that they made, even though I gotta respect my dude, us unique K names gotta stick together. But like the mistake they made was depending on Kyrie. Like, anybody that's a basketball fan will tell you, I love Kyrie. He's a great talent. I don't want to be flamed by the Kyrie people later. But like Kyrie is like unreliable.
Yes.
The main aspect of Kyrie's unreliableness has been his health. I will give it to him. Like, since he came to Brooklyn, it has not been his health that keeps him off the floor.
Which is crazy.
It has been the fact that he keeps running his mouth. Like, and that's a bad thing. Like, at one point it was his health. Now it's just he keeps running his mouth. Like, and like, I'm pro freedom of speech, but like, we got to get this clear. Like, there is a such thing as freedom of speech, but there's a such thing also as freedom as consequences that comes with that freedom.
That's right. You're free to say what you want to say, but that doesn't mean you live a consequence-free life for the things you say.
Right. And so, like, currently he's getting the consequence of his action. And like we said, I think we all think that what happened to him, like what he said, obviously was ridiculous. And then what the Nets did to get him back on the floor was equally ridiculous, right? Obviously, I don't stand for any anti-Semitism. So I don't want that to get clear from what I'm saying here. But, like, Kyrie, like, that was their main mistake, relying on Kyrie, because, like, I love Kyrie, but Kyrie hasn't been reliable since he left Duke. So, like, and I think the only reason, like, this didn't show up more at Duke was because he
didn't play.
He played, and he had Coach K. Like, he was not going to disrespect Coach K and Duke. Like, there's only but few gods in college football, and like that's one of them. You ain't disrespecting Coach K. That's like the equivalent of disrespecting Popovich on his team. Like, you're not gonna disrespect Coach K at Duke. So, like, I mean, like, no disrespect to Mike Brown, like, but that was the last real coach. The last 2 real coaches he had were Mike Brown and Coach K. So, like, he didn't disrespect them. You didn't really hear anything in Cleveland. The crap really didn't start to hit the fan until people were like, Kyrie, like you said, this is your team in Brooklyn. He was all like, word, this is my team. All right, y'all about to get all my hot takes. like, word, this is my team. Like,
you want to hear what I think about the moon?
Yeah,
or about the shape of the earth?
Right, like, word, this is my team. Like you said, like, giving Kyrie the keys may have been like the worst decision anybody has made on the Nets organization since they blew it up with, and again, I'm taking it back to our childhood, since they blew it up with Richard Jefferson, Vince Carter,
That's
and
right.
Jason Kidd on the same team. Like, I know some of y'all are probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but again,
That
as
team
Lex
was
said,
nice.
check YouTube and you will see the highlight reel that was. I mean, Richard Jefferson gets flamed, but like when he first came into the league with
It
Vince
was
Carter and Jason
nice.
Kidd, like y'all,
Richard Jefferson would dunk on people, like for real,
like
dunk
I
on
mean,
people.
most people don't believe us when we said like the two best dunkers in the league used to be Andre Iguodala and Richard Jefferson.
That's right.
Before they broke their knees, those were the
Yes.
two best dunkers in the
Iggy
league.
was ridiculous. Iggy got. I don't know if I ever seen anybody get as high as Iggy would get.
Right. Like when he was young, like, oh my goodness. Iggy came in here from the University of Arizona, and I was like, dog, where was this? Like, what? You've been hiding this for 4 years? like
He's bouncy.
that Iggy was spry, bro. Like, but yeah, so like the Nets, I agree with you. Like the Nets gave that key to Kyrie, and then they just have to blow it up, and hopefully not on Tuesday. But they're definitely going to get an angry Kyrie because, like, I mean, like, look at what happened to him. So they're definitely going to get an angry Kyrie. But
so I mean, I think somebody who would still, despite it all, still be a partner with them on a trade for Kyrie would be the Lakers. Do you think that that's a possibility, or what do you think is going to? How can they fix? I mean, that the Lakers make Brooklyn look like the 73-9 Warriors.
I mean, look, man, like we go from one dumpster fire to another, right? One dumpster
A bigger
fire,
dumpster fire.
right? One dumpster fire in the East Coast, and now the dumpster fire, the biggest dumpster fire in California, right? So, like, okay, the Lakers are just old, and I mean, like, what I'm about to say again, like, I know you Lakers fans have your ears perked up. What I'm about to give you is like the game on the Lakers, right? Like the Lakers are just old, and I mean that with all due respect to LeBron.
Yep.
I'm not saying that because like he's old. I'm just saying that their three core guys are old, and obviously Anthony Davis is like our age, but he has like the knees of like a 50-year-old. So
Yep.
like like Anthony Davis, like again, the mistake the Lakers made, kind of like what Brooklyn Nets did in a less like verbal way was giving the keys to Anthony Davis after they won that championship and saying, "Hey Anthony, it's all on you." And I love Anthony Davis. He is nothing like obviously verbally. He doesn't put his foot in mouth like Kyrie does. But his problem is he's got the reverse of Kyrie. He can't stay on the court because he just can't stay healthy.
Right.
You know, like I remember you and I never had this debate, but I remember a debate I had with one of my friends, Daniel Booth. Check him out. Like he is like we had a debate about like this is before like Jokic was putting up like his MVP numbers and before he got an MVP. This is like 2018, 2019. So before his first MVP. And we were debating it. He was like, nah, Anthony Davis is better than Joel. I didn't even put Jokic over Embiid. Like, my man was just disrespectful. He's also a Knicks fan. So like he's got a lot of disrespected. He's got a lot of repressed disrespect, right? So like that was his ranking, right? Davis, Jokic, then Embiid.
Oh,
and obviously he's changed that a little bit now because like it's 1A, 1B, Jokic, and B. Doesn't really matter how you rank it. I know.
That's right.
I know since we're Sixers fans, I rank it Embiid, Jokic, then Davis. Yep. Like I know some people, the Nuggets fans will be like Jokic, Embiid, then Davis, or Jokic, Davis, Embiid, whatever. Doesn't really matter, but like this is what we're saying. So like for me, like I love Anthony Davis, but like he just, and I will give him credit. He worked on his game. It didn't really help him because like you can work on your game all you want, but when your body just ain't there, it ain't there, right? That's what I mean. Right. The Warriors are experiencing this problem too. Like eventually, all that basketball catches up to you, right? So like that's what's happening with the Lakers too. Like they're just old, man. And I mean, I'll give Darvin Ham credit, like credit where it's due. He stuck to his word. He Jedi mind tricked. I won't even say he Jedi mind tricked because I don't want to disrespect the coach stuff and coach mentality that he had, but he convinced Russell Westbrook to go to the bench, which I will be honest, I will be completely 100 here. I did not think anybody could convince Russell Westbrook
I agree with
to
you.
be
I
on the
agree with
bench.
you.
Yeah, like, and he somehow did it. So I will give him his props for that. But it hasn't made the team better. Like, I heard every Lakers
He's
fan
played better. Russell has played better, but it
right,
doesn't change the outcome for the
right,
team.
right. So like, I will give you, like, I don't know if you know any Lakers fan. I'm sure everybody's got Lakers fans in their lives. They're mighty quiet right now. But like, you know, like the Lakers are just old, and like Russell Westbrook is playing better, but like that's not saying much because like he's got to put up numbers now because he's with the bench unit. But like the Lakers are just too old for their own good, and that's what it is. Like LeBron just cannot overcome this oldness that's on the team. Like he just can't. Like, and I like LeBron, he just can't overcome like
Right.
the oldness on the team. Like this team was literally built for Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis just can't stay healthy enough to help this team. And so, like you,
even when he is in, he's not asserting himself. He's not playing like he has the expectation to play like a top 5 player in the league. I'm sorry.
Right. And what I will say about that is, again, kind of like Joel Embiid, who's like currently leading a comeback right now, 105-97. Like it's just the fact of like in 80, like we just have to be honest here. I love basketball, you love basketball, but 82 games is rough. I'm not saying that they need to shorten the season because I like 82 games. I mean, that's what you and I both grew up on.
Yeah.
Like 82 games is just rough. Like it ain't, you ain't gonna get like a full Joel Embiid, a full LeBron, like a full Steph Curry, a full, no disrespect, but the king of load management, which is Kawhi Leonard. I'm so like you won't never get that with a full 82 game season. You won't even get it with a full 75 game season. Because when you really think about it, it's 82 plus 7 games, 7, 7, 7, 7. So really it's like 100 games. Like that'll never change because like it ain't like they're about to change the format of the playoffs, right? And then you got the freaking play-in game. So like, I mean, if you play in the play-in game, then you do a full, like it's just too much basketball. That's what it is. And that's all these dudes do. They play ball. And like, that's great. That's what they get paid to do. Like they get paid more money than you and I will ever see in their lives, in our lives, to play ball. But eventually, sort of like the Sixers had to do with Tyrese Maxey, you got to save these players from themselves. Like, I don't mean to make them sound like football players, but you got to save these players from themselves.
It's true.
Because like, well, you'll end up with like an Anthony Davis situation, which again, I'm not blaming on basketball because sometimes you just have bad luck, and he's like the king of bad luck when it comes to injuries. But like that's just what it is. And so like the way to fix, after that long diatribe, the way to fix the Lakers is you gotta pick one or you gotta pick two, and you gotta trade the oldness in some way. And I mean, this was disrespectful when Stephen A. Smith said it, but I'm getting of this mindset too that between LeBron and Russell Westbrook, somebody got to get traded. Like somebody, like it'll probably be Russell Westbrook because that makes more sense. But like somebody got to get traded, and eventually they will have to do just like the Lakers always have this crossroad, and it's probably coming a lot sooner than they thought. But they will have to pick Anthony Davis or LeBron James.
That's right.
You will have to do it. Like, I'm sorry, Lakers fans. Again, just like the Nets fans, you can flame me later at Kylan W. Watson on Twitter. Like, you know, like you can flame me all you want, but the truth is the truth, bro. Just like with the Nets, they'll have to choose between KD, Ben, or Kyrie. It's the same thing here. Like, you can get rid of Russell Westbrook, which is crazy to think that he's like the second youngest star on the Lakers. But like you will literally have to pick one. Like you'll have to pick between LeBron. You'll have to do exactly what you did with Kobe and Shaq, except it'll be a lot different results. You'll either pick the young star that's injured, or you'll pick the getting older star and eventually suck enough that maybe you'll be able to pick up his son, and then you can trade for the younger model later. But like, you know, that's where you are, like fans. You're hoping that Bronny James matches the hype. Like you're hoping that's where you are. Like you and the Nets are in like this hate saying it, the process, right? You are in this process now. Like at this point, you have to determine like what's better, making the play-in tournament or getting a number one pick.
That's right.
I mean, like, I don't know who the best basketball player, just because college basketball is in its infancy right now, who's going to be the number one pick this year. But you're in that sweepstakes, Lakers and Nets. Like, There's just no way around this. Like the best solution, the most realistic solution for y'all is bringing up the dude I brought up earlier, Miles Turner, to like spell Anthony Davis, or
That's
like
right.
not even spell, get in the starting lineup. Maybe you'll find a way to get Buddy Hield, because that's been just as often in the rumor mill as him going to the Sixers.
That's
So
right.
maybe you'll find a way, because Indiana's desperate for a star, to trade Russell Westbrook. I don't know what kind of Jedi mind trick you will have to pull to get those two from Indiana, but like you'll have to, or you can send them back to OKC and maybe trade for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I know how ridiculous that sounds to OKC Thunder fans, but like all them assets are for something. Like Sam Presti ain't playing around down there in Oklahoma. Like he's got way too many assets to not do it. So like to not bring Russell Westbrook home, like to OKC. So like OKC or Indiana is probably your best bet for Russell, and that's like the most realistic thing. I mean, I know we're a podcast. People love the hot takes that you and I bring when we get together. But like at this point, this is it, man. Russell Westbrook for Miles Turner or Buddy Hield,
That's
some
true.
assets,
That's the
and
only deal. That's the only deal that will be on the table.
right, like some assets, and then you hope that Lonnie Walker is like as good as he was at Reading in Reading, PA, maybe. Like, and I know Lonnie has had his moments, and I'm so glad that he's doing well. I've got a couple of people in my life that love him very much because they watched him in Reading. So like I hope that he does well, just because PA pride all the way. But
That's
like
right.
like Lonnie hopefully can be good for them. But like Lakers fans, I mean, it's a dumpster fire there, but hey, man, at least you don't. It could always be worse. You could have Kyrie Irving, so like
That's right.
it could always be worse.
And that's what some of the people who are listening right now want. So let's pick some of these games for the upcoming week, Kyle.
I mean, before we get there, I mean, just to close this out, I mean, some people wanted them here. Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Not for a second. Like as soon as it came across my screen, I was like, please no. What do I have to do to avoid this? It would be worse than a Ben Simmons. At least Ben Simmons was like not crazy.
Right. Like, could you just imagine it? Like some people, you probably heard the same thing this summer. Like some people are like, just trade Maxey for Kyrie, and I'm just like, I'm so glad they didn't do that. Like the old Sixers would have done it, but I'm so glad they didn't do that.
But Morey thought about it. I'm sure Morey thought about it.
Right. And then somebody was like, no.
Yo,
we're trying to get
do this.
We're trying to get a new arena. No.
Yeah. So the Nuggets are 9-point underdogs at Dallas. Luka and them. What are you thinking about that for tomorrow night, Sunday? Ooh. This might be when you guys first listen. Whoever's listening, it might drop that day. So it'll be the game that evening, right. The big game that evening. What are you thinking, Kylan?
I think for me, right, I love the Mavericks, but I've got to go against the numbers here just because, like, I like Luka, but, like, the one problem with the Mavericks, it doesn't really come up now, but it comes up later. Like, it's been, like, they're way too Luka dependent, and, like, now they don't have Jalen Brunson.
That's right.
And so, like, they're even more Luka dependent. I just think that the Nuggets are the more complete team, even though, like we all say, they're working their way back with Jamal Murray and MPJ. So I have to go against the Vegas here. I'm taking this because I'm not gambling on this game. So like you people that gamble can like think I'm wrong and go against and lose your money betting on Luka if you want. But I will. I'll take Nikola. Like he always gets up for these games. I'm always for some European on European violence. So I'll go against. I'll put it on Jokic. I think he'll have a really big game just because, like, I mean, Dallas hasn't had a good big man since Dirk Nowitzki retired. So like, and I don't think that changes right now. So I'm gonna go with the Nuggets here begrudgingly. But I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas finds a way to pull it out. But I'm going to go with the Nuggets because they're the more complete team, even though everybody, like 2 of the 3 are working back from injury.
What about on Monday night, the Jazz at the Clippers?
Ooh, I'm going Clippers. I like the Jazz. The Jazz are like, if you want my award for overachievers of the early season,
Oh my
it's the
God. Yeah.
Jazz. It's the Jazz. So like,
Easily.
yeah. So I've got to go with the Clippers here. I mean, my boy Kawhi is back. I know a lot of Sixers fans hear that name and again are punching through their screens now because they're
Because of the
remembering that
amazing
game.
shot he hit on
Yeah,
us.
yes. The travel that wasn't called. Yeah. Yeah, like I know that a lot of Sixers fans are like, why are you supporting Kawhi? But like I said earlier, unique. I got a unique K name. He got a unique K name, so it's kind of built in that I like that man, even though he broke
Hmm.
my heart. so like, so like, I am so happy he's back. And I think that the Clippers will start making a run now. I mean, like, what are they, like top 6, top 7 in the Western Conference right now? I
Hmm.
think they'll start making a run now that Kawhi is back, and obviously, like, he only put up 6 points last night, but like or whenever you listen to this Friday night. And so like I think that now that he's back, like the Clippers will start getting better, and they're already a deep team. Like Ty Lue should have been the Sixers coach, but he ended up in LA. So like Ty Lue all the way.
Tuesday, we talked about this earlier, and Nets are coming to Philly. You said that you're a believer. Are you believing that the Sixers are gonna figure out a way to beat these guys?
I think the Sixers will figure it out, man, because like I just think that anger can take you a long way. I don't think that they want to get blown out by 30 again. So like I am going to believe that Joel Embiid, as long as no boo-boos happen in this game, that he'll play, and like they will will their way to a win just like they did against the Bucks. Because like I said, it's disrespectful to the Sixers because even though they don't play good transition defense, they are still somehow a top 5 defense in the
That's
league.
right.
So like most of that is
A lot of
Joel.
half court people aren't running on them. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, and most of that is Joel Embiid. So like I will just say that like unless Joel Embiid finds a way to like, and I'm not hoping for this, but unless Joel Embiid finds a way to get sick or like they just decide that they're going to rest him, which they
That's right.
shouldn't, because like at this point, this Nets Sixers thing, no disrespect to the Eagles Cowboys, is basically Eagles Cowboys now. So like
That's right.
you have to they have to play that man. So like like they have to play that man and hope Tobias, like of the three, Tobias Harris will probably play. Again, I mean, I covered the team, but like I have no inside information into that. But I think Tobias Harris will play. So hopefully, if not, then it gets a little more hairier for the Sixers. But I still think they pull it out.
What about the Clippers again? Clippers and Warriors. Warriors are another team that have been underperforming this year.
Yeah, man. Oh, the Warriors. Again, just like I said, a lot of basketball catching up to them. And I just like blew the Clippers, and now I'm about to bring them back down to earth. I think the Warriors. The one thing we both know about the Warriors is they get up for these big games against teams that say that they can beat them. I mean, we see it every time they play the Grizzlies. They say, "Sit down, young bulls." So,
Yep.
like at this point, I have to say that the same thing will probably happen. I think, and all of this depends on one Klay Thompson, because Steph Curry has not been the problem. It's and Klay Thompson is not a problem, but obviously the shooting is up and down. So I think Klay Thompson shows up somehow in this game. And obviously this is being recorded on Saturday, so this game hasn't happened yet. So I'm sure something if something doesn't screw that up before this, like Klay, I think Klay will show up, and old school Klay will show up, and the Warriors will beat the Clippers, and will prove that they're back at least for one game.
And then what about the Pelicans at the Grizz on
Oh
Friday
man, yeah.
night?
You could just toss this one. This is Grizzlies all the way. I mean, unless Zion is playing, this is Grizzlies all the way.
I think the Pelicans, watch out for the Pelicans. I would not be shocked. Early season hot take. The Pelicans coming out the West.
Oh no, look. This is no disrespect to the Pelicans. Like Brandon Ingram, like of all those former Lakers, Brandon Ingram has taken that step So like, and like they have CJ McCollum again, PA Pride, CJ McCollum, like that can get you a win over the Grizzlies. But I just think that John Morant is playing out of his mind a little bit too much. Obviously, like the Grizzlies are getting back to full health. They'll have their big man back soon. So like it's not totally out of the question for them. Like I wouldn't be mad if they beat the Grizzlies, because like I love the Grizzlies, but neither of us are Grizzlies fans, so it doesn't really matter. That's right. but I'm gonna go with the Grizzlies. I'm gonna go with complete chalk on this. Besides the Warriors, like it's definitely Grizzlies. It's definitely Grizzlies over the Warriors. Over the Pelicans. Right now, unless, like I said, when this game was that game next Friday, right?
Next Friday.
Yeah. So Black Friday, like they'll beat them, unless, like I said, someone is telling me that Zion is gonna play. If Zion plays, then this is a different calculation. Then
yes,
since
they're coming out the West, Kylan.
Okay, look.
That's who the Sixers got to play if we make it there.
My hot take along with you, man, they'll be a top 6 seed in the West. Like they will not be in a play-in game this year.
No.
Top 6.
They're legitimately a good team.
Top 6 team in the West. And the Blazers.
Watch it, fans. Watch it happen.
You didn't bring the Blazers up here, but like Blazers too are going to be a top 4, top 6. The 2 play-in teams from last year, the Blazers and the Pelicans, will not be in the play-in game this year. That's my hot take. The Blazers and the Pelicans will not be in the play-in game this year. Get used to it, y'all.
Get used to it. New names. A lot of people, they don't make it on the national television a lot. Get familiar with a lot of those Pelicans. You're gonna be seeing them. And when Zion gets back, he's off the Mickey D's. He's taking a break. He's saving that for the offseason. He's saving dunks on y'all's heads for the regular season and the postseason.
He's got that Jordan shoe deal. He needs some new shoes. So I'm all for it, man. I'm all for the Air Zion. So I'll put me on the Air Zion Express. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm right there with you. I'm all for it, man. Put me on the Air Zion McCollum Ingram Express,
Zion Express.
But don't put it on me for next Friday though. After the Grizzlies, I'm not saying the Grizzlies will destroy them, but they'll win that game. But the Pelicans are a great team. I've had my eye on them for a while, and I'm glad that Zion has at least played this season, because I was worried about that.
Same here.
But I'm glad that he's played and has gained some rapport with CJ and Brandon Ingram after getting called out last season for not wanting to play there. So they lost Anthony Davis, so nobody's gonna really stay there forever. But maybe Zion will. But no one's gonna stay there forever. No. This is no offense to the Pelicans fans. I don't want to. This, y'all have some hope. Y'all not like the Nets and the Lakers. Y'all have hope.
That's right. No, a lot. So on Watson Sports Take, what are you working on, and where else can we follow along and show you some support?
Sure. So on WatsonSportsTakes.com, I'm there. This game is still going on, so eventually you guys will find that article up on about the Timberwolves. Obviously the Eagles play tomorrow, so look out for that article there too. You can also check out some of my editing work on NBCSports.com and on the NBC Sports Edge Twitter account, and on the NBC Sports YouTube as well, because obviously I edit and write as well, because we have to be multifaceted in this industry to keep getting paychecks. So
yes.
so Kyle was doing a lot here, but yeah. So WatsonSportsTakes.com. I expect that Timberwolves article to already be up whenever y'all listen to this, and then an Eagles article tomorrow, and then I think let's just go by that. Yeah, at least another Sixers article on Tuesday, and then obviously the big Sunday night game that we brought up, Eagles-Packers, the trap game.
Yeah, we'll see if it's still a trap, if the Packers can come up with a W.
Yeah.
Wait. The Packers just took took the L actually.
Yeah. They played on Thursday. They played
Just took the
played
L.
against your trap game, the Titans.
Yes. I'm telling you, that's the one I'm more worried about. I think we're gonna take care of the Packers.
I think so too, but I'm just as Vrabel. The one thing Vrabel can do is coach his behind off. So
yep.
I think Nick Sirianni could equally do that. I mean, like, to me, with all these games, Gannon is a huge factor. Like, I think he needs to start blitzing more, especially with like Brad. Like, he has no excuse right now. Like, the excuse last year was, like, I just have Slay back there and I don't trust anybody but Slay. But now you have like Slay and Bradbury, so you can blitz now. I mean, like, I'm not saying you got to be Dick Johnson, like, blitz all the time.
Right.
Like, blitz sometimes, bro. Like,
right.
Like, the Washington game really came down to the fact that man refused to blitz. Like, and I mean, we could spend another hour on
that's why I just shook off another set of thoughts. I'll let on the next episode, Kylan will come back to talk about the Birds going to 9-1. We'll beat the Colts tomorrow. I called it on the show with Alexa. They could keep it close, but they will not. They're going to keep it close for the first few minutes. It's going to end Birds 43-23.
Okay.
Look out for it.
40-23. All right.
43-23.
Okay. I'm going to say 30-17.
30-17. Okay.
I think they drop. I think the Eagles, like my dad and I were actually talking about this off air. Like, I think the Eagles are angry. I mean, I don't know if any of y'all saw the report that what's his name did on NBC, but they came into Indianapolis and just all looked angry. Like, so, like, I just think I'm with you, man. I think that Jonathan Taylor will keep it close, but I think Ndamukong Suh, hopefully he doesn't get a flag and get kicked out of the game. But I think Suh and Joseph make up the difference and will keep Jonathan Taylor in check. Plus, I mean, like, this is the best quarterback outside of Carson Wentz for another, like, 12-sack game with Matt Ryan as the statue that he is. So, like, I mean, I know a lot of people are blowing the Colts' offensive line right now because of Jeff Saturday. And I mean this with all due disrespect. I like Jeff Saturday, but that man shouldn't be the coach of the Colts. Like, I mean, Reggie Wayne is literally right there. But, like, I mean, that's just me, whatever.
They just circumvent the Rooney Rule at every turn.
Like Reggie Wayne is literally right there. He's also in the Colts Hall of Fame. And I'm trying to figure out, like, if Reggie Wayne is right there, I mean, what do you need? Barbara Harrison on the staff then? Like, I mean, ultimately, my since we're here, my dark web conspiracy hot take is that Jeff Saturday is just there, so eventually Peyton Manning can be the head coach of the Colts. Or Andrew Luck, but, like, it's more than likely Peyton Manning.
Okay.
Or
watching that space.
Or as the new GM, he's gonna end up either being the coach or the new GM. Like, it's just set up that way for me. Like, I just think he'll end up being the coach and the GM, and still will do the Manning podcast because the Manning. I don't know how that will work, but he'll somehow still do the Manning cast. They will probably have to have a tampering rule. I don't even know. Is there a tampering rule in the NFL? They might need to have one. They might need to have a better one if he does. If this is my tinfoil hat moment right here, like, Peyton Manning ends up, they'll fire the current GM Ballard, and, like, Peyton Manning ends up being either the coach or the GM of the Colts, and will somehow either fire Jeff Saturday or Jeff Saturday will peace out and they'll get the coach that they want. Who will probably end up being Gannon. Like, who will probably end up being Gannon. Like,
well, on the next episode, y'all. Well, thank you so much for listening. We'll be back soon.